Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about my rules for record collecting in 2025 and going over some things that I'm going to be doing differently going forward. I recently thought about this. I asked myself, am I done record collecting? Because I looked at my record collection and it's very full. Actually, it's almost completely full. In my shelf that I have, there's almost no space left. I really can't fit anything else in there. So I'm not actually going to stop record collecting in 2025. I'm still going to continue, but I did make 10 rules for myself and things that I'm going to be following this year. And this is basically just because I have no space left in my collection, so I have to make a few changes. The first rule is that if I see a record available and I really want it, I'm not going to wait, I'm just going to purchase it just in case it sells out. And there are going to be exceptions to this rule depending on price and availability and the type of pressing that it is. But generally now going forward, if I see a record I want and I know I should get it, I have that feeling, then I'm going to get it. There were actually two CDs that were on my CD wish list and I saw them go up on eBay. They're two different CDs, but I saw that somebody was selling them. They were kind of expensive, like between $35 and $45, and I just waited. I was like, maybe I should wait and see, and then they ended up selling out, so they're no longer on eBay, and I kind of regret it. Even though they were kind of expensive CDs, it was something that I wanted and now it's sold out, so now I can't get it, so I do kind of regret that. It really just depends on what the record is, but if I know it's something that I really like and I'm not sure if it's going to sell out, I should just get it anyways. And sometimes you don't know when a record will be repressed or go back into stock, so to avoid the FOMO and missing out, I'm just gonna start purchasing things. My second rule is going to be my budget. I'm actually setting myself a specific budget for record collecting this year. I really don't want to spend more than $30 on a new record, and I am limiting myself to one record a month. I know that is like really strict. I'm sure for a lot of people that is extremely hard to do. For me personally, it's okay because again, I do want to budget my money more. For January, I've already bought my first record, well, my first and only record. It was a $25 7-inch single of the song Wolves by Selena Gomez and Marshmello. So that was my record for January, and I'm okay. Like, I'm doing good for now. Like, there aren't really any new pressings being announced. I've pretty much collected every single record I could ever want. There's still a couple of pressings in my wish list that I would like to have, but it's not necessary. All of my favorite albums I have, I'm really only buying new vinyl, so it only depends on when my favorite bands and artists release albums, and it's usually not that often throughout the year. So following that plan, I can get one record a month. Obviously, I will make exceptions to this. Generally, I would like to be in that $30 range and only getting one record a month, again because I am running out of space. Rule number 3 is no variants. I have had this rule basically since I started collecting. I'm not really a completist. I'm not really one of those collectors that likes having a complete collection of a certain artist. I don't go out collecting every single colored variant for one album. Some people do like to do that. For me personally, I just can't really afford that and I don't really see a need for it. I think it's kind of unnecessary to have 5 different colors of one album. I don't know, I just like to pick my favorite colored pressing for an album and that's the one I play and listen to. I don't really see the need for multiple variants unless it's like a deluxe edition or something special with extra bonus content, but just a standard album with a different color, I don't see the need for it. Rule number 4 is that I'm not going to buy a vinyl of an album that just came out unless I've heard the album first. In other words, I'm gonna try to stay away from pre-orders for new albums. And again, I will make exceptions for this depending on the band or the artist, but I have been let down by some pre-orders. There have been some records where I pre-ordered it and then I didn't like the album as much as I thought I would, and I've kept the vinyl, but I don't really play it that much, and I'm gonna try to only buy albums once they're out. I'm gonna try to stay away from pre-orders as much as I can. I just don't want to be out the money if I don't like an album and then I'm stuck with this vinyl that I pre-ordered, you know, which has happened before. Rule number 5 is to only buy records that I will listen to. This is another rule that I've had since I started collecting. I've already like declined some record purchases because I really thought about it deeply and I'm like, I don't really see myself listening to this, so I'm not gonna buy it, you know? I really only want to buy my favorite albums, like my absolute favorite albums. So I really only want to buy albums where I like the majority of the songs and just albums I want to actually listen to. You know, I have so many albums now in my collection I don't really listen to that much anymore, and I've noticed I kind of go in phases with music. I'll be really into a certain genre and then I'll move on to another genre that I'll be into a lot, you know? So my taste kind of goes in and out, kind of changes a little bit, but again, I just want to make sure I'm buying records that I will actually play and listen to, because I'm the kind of collector who only buys records that I actually play, you know, I'm not really a completist or anything. Rule number 6 is if I can, I will wait for a sale before I buy an older album. This is something I did last year and it saved me so much money. For example, the Actual Life albums by Fred Again, there are 3 albums. I ended up finally buying them last October, I think it was October 2024, when Target had the buy 2 get 1 free sale on vinyl. So because I waited, I was able to take advantage of Target's sale and I got one of the records for free because again, it was buy 2 get 1 free. So because I had waited on purchasing an older record, those albums have been out for a few years now. Because I waited, I was able to take advantage of a sale and save a lot of money. So I am saving a lot of the records on my wish list for sales, especially around the holidays, Christmas and Black Friday. A lot of stuff goes on sale. So to save money with the older records, I am probably going to wait until there's a sale. Rule number 7 is that I'm not going to buy any 7-inch records or any 12-inch singles if the song is on an actual full album or LP. For example, Rockstar by Post Malone, I really love that song. At one point I had the 12-inch single in my record collection. I ended up selling it because I had Beer Bongs and Bentleys on vinyl, and the song Rockstar is on the full LP of Beer Bongs and Bentleys, so it seemed kind of redundant, like almost like a duplicate. Like, why do I need the 12-inch single if this song is on the actual LP, you know, especially because 12-inch singles take up more space than a 7-inch single. I just didn't see the purpose in having the song on 2 different records, you know. That's just for me personally. Some people do like collecting duplicates and having songs on 7-inch singles as well as the full albums, but again, I really would only collect a 7-inch single if I can't find that song anywhere else. Rule number 8 is that I'm trying to buy records wherever I can get them the cheapest. I'm at the point now where I'm trying to budget my money better. I'm just trying to get a good deal, you know. I'm not trying to spend a ton of money on vinyl these days, and I really just want to buy records from wherever I can find them the cheapest, whether it's Amazon, whether it's eBay, or some other kind of retailer like Target, Walmart, some other vinyl company online. Like, I love supporting my local record stores whenever I can, but they're not always the cheapest option. And even though I would rather support local record stores, it's just going to cost me more money. So instead, I just try to support them on record store day, but for regular vinyl purchases, I'm really only buying from like Amazon or eBay. And sometimes I do have deals on my credit cards too, like 5% back on Amazon with Discover. So during that time period for that deal, I'm only buying records on Amazon, you know. Hopefully that'll change in the future, and I understand that businesses sometimes have to price their records higher, you know, to keep their stores running, but unfortunately I just can't afford that right now. Rule number 9 is that I'm really going to try to purge my record collection every 6 to 12 months. Like I mentioned earlier, my record shelf is very full. I don't think I can really fit any more records in it, so obviously I'm gonna have to do something about that, whether it's donating my vinyls, selling them, giving them to friends or family, like whatever. I'm just gonna have to figure out what to do with some of these and just comb through them again, go through a purge every 6 to 12 months, and that way I know that the albums in my collection are my absolute favorites. There are plenty of records that always survive the purge, and those are my favorite ones, but every now and then I kind of notice myself not listening to certain albums anymore, and I think that those phases in my life are just over, so I'm not really gravitating towards certain albums or genres anymore. So I know for me personally, when it's time to purge an album, there is a purge coming in the near future for my record collection. But again, I just want to keep my record collection small and curated. I don't want to have a super big collection because it's going to be it's just a lot to take care of, a lot to clean, a lot of sleeves I have to buy, and then in the future, like moving out and stuff, I just don't want to have to deal with a ton of records, and my room is pretty small anyways, so I've tried to see if I could get another shelf, and I just don't think it's going to work or fit anywhere. And, you know, just for me personally, again, I want to have a small curated collection of just my favorite albums. I want to be very specific and selective with the albums in my collection. So that means this year in 2025, I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 purges. And my last rule, rule number 10, is that I need to do a better job at keeping track of my record purchases. I did a better job at this in 2024, but in years prior, I did not use Discogs as much as I should have. I went months without adding my new record purchases to Discogs, so when it was time to film my record collection update video at the end of the year, I had to go back and count all of my records, and it was really hard to figure out which ones I bought in certain years, and I was losing track of what was on Discogs and what was not on Discogs, and when did I purchase this, and where did I get it, what pressing do I have. And because I do film my record collection a lot and do update videos, it'll make it a lot easier for me if I just use Discogs, and I'm continuing to update my collection whenever I buy new records. So now after every unboxing video I film, I'm always adding my new stuff to Discogs. Those are my 10 rules for record collecting in 2025, and this was a very personal list. A lot of this stuff is super specific just to me, I think, so I really want to know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on my rules. Am I being too strict? Am I being too hard? Or do you agree with these rules? Do you think they're good? And then of course let me know if you guys have any rules for yourselves record collecting. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!